Hello, hello. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Healing Body, Mind, and Soul with Aeriol. I'm Aeriol Asher, your host, and I have the opportunity, pleasure, and I just don't know. I'm just so pleased. I have the opportunity to be here today with Rhonda. She's a great friend of mine. We've known each other for quite some time, and she's such an amazing person. I couldn't wait to get her on the Healing Body, Mind, and Soul with Aeriol show. She has a wonderful story. She's up to just about everything, as are most of my guests, you will see. But what I love about Rhonda, besides her huge heart and her passion to help others, is she has got a remarkable healing story herself. So you're going to want to lean in and hear what she has to say. Without further ado, Rhonda, welcome to the show.
Aeriol, by the way, that was a nice introduction. I'm loving on you, my friend, and being able to highlight this for me. But as you were talking, my shoulders were moving and I was like dancing. You're fabulous. Thank you for the intro. And I'm excited to be here.
Oh my gosh. I am so happy to have you here. I would love, now I know it, but I just really wanted to share with my listeners a little bit of your journey as a healer, as you identify yourself, and what got you to the point that you were healing yourself and you decided to bring that to others. Can you tell us a little bit about your healing journey?
Thank you. And that's a big question, so I'm gonna tighten it and make sure that I really speak to that, Aeriol. Because when I first started in the health industry about 20 years ago, I felt like I was a fraud. I wasn't fully stepping into things, and my healing journey has to do with me finally stepping into things. I felt really sad a lot and didn't have the alignment of the stuff I was telling my clients to do. So my background is a health coach. I call myself an energy revitalizer and mindset mentor. So every day I wasn't working on aligning my mindset. I noticed that was affecting my health. And I was telling my clients, oh, you need to be eating this certain food because this is what's going to work for you. Was I doing that for myself? No. So I finally looked at my medicine in the cabinet and it said, hypothyroid, take it every day for the rest of your life. That's what my doctor said.
Ouch.
Yeah. And it made me sad to put it in my body. And I thought, I don't want to take that. I mean, I'm literally talking from because that's how it made me feel. I was upset that this little pill was doing whatever it could for me. But since I wasn't fully stepping into it, the medicine really could only do so much. So I was noticing also, even with the medicine, things were happening where I knew my medicine was going to keep increasing if I didn't do something about it. So I realized that my medicine, just using my sense through this health and wellness arena, that my kidneys were already starting to show signs of they were not doing 100% because, well, they weren't working 100% because taking medicine for 20 years. So I woke up one morning and I said, this is it. For some reason, I just said, this is it. I'm not going to take this medicine anymore. I could barely get out of bed because I was not doing the things that I was telling my clients to do. I had so much pain in my body, and it was probably because I was out eating things that I knew were not feeding my fuel in my body. And I was barely able to get out of bed. And as I was slowly walking to the bathroom because I wanted to look at myself because I felt so yucky, that I started hearing words that I never heard before. So if I may share, it was these words that I heard when I was growing up, which is you're dumb, you're stupid, you're ugly. These crazy things that I could feel I was wearing inside my body, not feeling good, but these words were coming at me. And I said, that's it. I do not want to live like this anymore. I can't. I'm not going to survive and live a full life if I keep this route of doing medicine, keeping myself going by just doing half. I'm sorry, I'm going to say this half-ass. I'm sorry for saying that if you don't swear, but literally. And so that day was the day where I started working on waking up in the morning and really feeling my aches and pains, not just letting it go and saying, oh, you're going towards 50, so that's how you should be feeling. I started really feeling them. And I could feel my elbows and I could feel my back. And I could start feeling things that were really achy for a long time. And I started crying. And I decided, okay, what's my first tool? And I started with my journey of being my best client. And I slowly got off of medicine. And every day I'm in such a feeling of rejoice, because it's been 2 years now, but also a feeling of alignment because I'm finally stepping into it. And when I step out, my body reacts and it aligns me right back up. And that has made a big difference in life. I'm so happy. I'm laughing more. I am giddy. And now I can truly say, I'm very proud, I am an energy revitalizer and mindset mentor. And I feel it in my DNA now.
That is amazing. What a wonderful story. I have a similar story. I have a same and similar story, and it's part of the reason that I love you so much. But I love how you visualized those words coming at you. I think we've all had one of those moments, and there a lot of coaches, a lot of healers, a lot of people, we get disconnected from our work because we're working on other people, because we are caretakers. I call them earth angels. We are those caretakers, and we are those people who are leading the pack. And it's so important at this time for us as leaders and healers to focus on our self-care. And I mean whole self-care. I do not mean go get your manicure, and I'm not just talking about your green smoothie in the morning. I'm talking about spiritual, emotional, life force, self, like all the juicy aspects, your physical body, your emotional state, your mental health. I love that you're an energy revitalizer and mindset mentor. The world needs that now, because we need to understand that all these aspects work together. We need self-care for the whole self, not just self-care that is an exercise routine. Because I don't think that people with an exercise routine can get results if they don't deal with those underlying things. That's kind of the takeaway that I'm getting from your story, Rhonda. What are your thoughts about this?
I'm so in alignment with that. I call it the 3 energy revitalized pillars. Has to do with diet. The other one is movement. The other one is mindset. So there's the 3. And I find that when I first started, the whole thing about working out, we fluctuate, we go up and down, but if you don't have that mindset, or if you're not using the food to be your medicine, then you're not going to get wherever you want to go, which is, there's never the ta-da moment. But my goal, and I'm finding that the people that I'm around, my clients, my friends now, is that they're not looking for that end goal, like let's make goals and let this be the end. It's about them really stepping in and saying, I'm all in. I'm not just going to work out. I need to start listening to my head trash here. There's so many sabotages that I am doing right now. I can hear it. And then they go and they learn more and more about themselves. And the food, gosh, there's so much packaged stuff out there. There's so many quick things. I'll tell you what, that's better than going to fast food. But most of the people that are into what we're doing, not all of them are really doing fast food anymore. But recognizing the packaged food can hurt us really bad too. And so most of the time it becomes sugar in our body. So just learning these things and what's real food, I think all of that comes together, and the commitment to life and celebration. And being aware that your brain is part of your body, and the food that you're feeding means that you get to keep your brain intact longer if you are watching for the whole body wellness.
Right, and all those cogs are moving smoothly and getting all of their essential fatty acids and things are good. You know, Rhonda, you got me so inspired. There is a documentary that I saw called The Magic Pill, and
Mm-hmm.
I had not, nutrition is not my area. I'm definitely more into the spiritual and emotional aspects of energy healing a little. Um, but that doesn't mean that I don't pay attention to the fuel of my own physical vitality, right?
Yeah.
It all plays a part. I love, Rhonda, that you said the word commitment. I love that you got me excited about the documentary, The Magic Pill. The reason I was excited about that is because there was a moment in The Magic Pill when they were just showing how diabetes is running rampant, and that it was because of this introduction of processed white flour and, basically everything white going into indigenous places,
Yeah.
and really wreaking havoc on what native people were eating, fish, essential oil, all of the fatty acids and their diets, and they were replacing it with simple stuff: sugar, fat, salt, all of the white things.
Yeah. It's interesting, Ariel.
I don't want to sound judgy on any of
No.
our food products, but
Well, it's not, and when I was going through health coaching school, I was so surprised to look at like the Japanese food and how certain things have made their lifespan so much longer and on average. And then when McDonald's went over there or Burger King, like just the fast food chains, how it has gone down, and they can really show that stuff. And that goes with processed foods and things that are different than what it was before. So that definitely deserves a conversation. And it's not judgment, it's just the reality and speaking to how food can lift you, and it can really be medicine because it helps your organs, your liver, your kidneys, all that kind of stuff. Or it can do the opposite. So food is very powerful.
food is awesome. But here's the deal. We are in a society where food is convenient, and we just we're on the go, and we don't have even that self-care of that breathe, relax, eat with reverence, not to mention in that documentary that I was talking about. I'm only mentioning it because it was the first time ever that I heard about the guy. I can't remember his name. Maybe the guy who invented the food pyramid.
The Maslow, oh, the
Um,
food pyramid.
no, the food pyramid. No, not the Pavlovian dogs or anything like that. But the food pyramid. Remember when we learned that in schools, where they taught us,
Yeah.
you want your protein and your vegetables, 3, 2, 4, 4. That I remember in my we sang some song, and then I watched this documentary, and they're all, oh, sorry, that food pyramid was basically some guy's marketing scheme to get
Yep.
his research out into the world so he could make a buck, not so that he could better humans or to nourish the world, because he wanted to help dairy farmers, and he wanted to
Yeah.
help, and certain people can withstand certain kinds of diets depending
Yeah.
on what people's DNA is made up of, right?
Yeah.
And then we get really, really tricky stuff. So it is really, really interesting. Um, Thank you so much for getting me excited about food today, Rhonda.
Woo!
But education, when they teach us in that documentary, what I got
Yeah.
excited about was that food pyramid. What they said, oh, this guy is doing all this research, and he basically loaded the dice to get his results, and the pyramid is actually completely upside down. It should be
Yeah.
completely inverted.
Well, Ariel, what you're making me think about though is you're right. Okay, so you brought up the DNA level, like how your body receives food. It really is what you were born with. But also think about this: your stomach. Your stomach is like your thumbprint, just like the DNA. But think about if you carry stress more, then your stomach's going to be affected. So you're not going to absorb everything. So sometimes it's good to have somebody by you that has that ear. I can say, okay, there's some digestion stuff going on there. Let's clear that. And let's do that. That's like the first step, because a good diet doesn't mean it's good for everybody. So, so listening to your energy after you eat something, that in itself, you can be by yourself. You don't have to have a mentor. You can do this on your own. It's fabulous. But when you have this support, you have somebody that understands that there's so many moving parts in the body that once you hear all the stuff that's going out there, all the different diets, all this kind of stuff, that you start looking at food, not just as a protein, not just as a sugar or a carb or whatever. You start seeing food as, is that going to help me right now? And it has a lot to do with you getting to know your body. And it keeps shifting. So the biggest thing is listening to your body, because nobody else can tell you. Somebody can guide you, and you may want a coach like that, but you definitely don't want somebody that just writes a plan for you and says, here, because they don't know about your system and what you've dealt with. You know, I was in 4th grade when something majorly happened to me, and it made a big difference in my health moving forward, and I just recently realized that. And that is another reason why I had thyroid stuff. That was one of the biggest things I had to work my healing through. So all this information we have within ourselves, and that really helps bring a whole life plan of happiness. And it's just working the steps to get there.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm excited about so many things that you're saying. I'm just wondering what question I want to ask, and what question I want to ask next, Rhonda. Let's see. I love what you were saying about the stomach. It is not just what you put into your stomach, so to speak, but also how your body assimilates and uses the food that you've given, and then of course how you eliminate blah blah blah.
Yeah.
You know, Rhonda, one of my favorite interviews on the Healing Body, Mind, and Soul podcast, I don't know if you caught it. I think that the title made people not download it, because it was how to move your bowels with vibrational bowls, and I was being funny when I put the title, and the woman who I interviewed, fabulous woman, Lisa McGraw, we had a great discussion about how the parasympathetic nervous system, which I deal with when I'm doing breath work and vibrational sound healing work with my clients, that vibration actually activates the parasympathetic nervous system, calms down the amygdala, right? So we get out of that fight or flight, you know, or that hangry. If we want to move it back to the food, you know, so we get out of that fight or flight, and the body can heal itself. And that gentle vibration, you know, feeling that gentle vibration and getting connected to your body again, so you can feel into your body. I was wondering, do you arm with your clients? You said, you know, check the food, feel into it, see if it's going to nourish and sustain your body, feel how it reacts with your body. Do you have your clients muscle test or use a pendulum, or what kind of tools do you employ for people to get those kind of answers for themselves?
Yeah, so interesting, because you know, that's the second chakra. If we went into chakras, that's like the emotional space, that stomach.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So you can go in so many different angles, which is fabulous about speaking with all these different healers. And I really truly think about if you're carrying a heavy load of stress, let's say, you know, things happening in life and you carry stress for a long time, you need to really learn about your personal journey and how it's been affected. So when I start thinking about, oh my gosh, Aeriol, what was the question? Because I was going somewhere with
what
that.
What kind of tools do you arm your clients with, or what kind of, you know,
thank you, my friend.
is it just tuning into their body and intuition? Do you use muscle testing? I use a pendulum.
Yeah.
What kind of tools do you use to help people get to that space? Because I don't
Yes.
think everybody can just walk into the grocery store and pick up a can of soup and go, how does this feel to me? Not
Well, yeah,
I
that's
mean,
true.
I mean,
That's advanced. That's advanced. That's advanced. I do have clients do that, but they've been with me for quite a
yeah,
long
yeah.
time. And I'll say, go pick up a bag, and because this is important to some people who have been doing this for a while, go pick up a bag and see where your body takes you. I've had clients that need iron, and it's right there's they end up right by the red meat. But it's a muscle testing in the way of me being able to hear their vocals, hear what their body is saying of what they need. Like, oh, this is interesting, Ariel. So this is what I've been doing lately. I've studied about the organs and where the points are where they're going to feel achiness if an organ is off, how they'll show up emotionally at a higher space. Like if you're more angered consistently, that speaks that the liver and the liver is off, and there's reasons why. If you're more anxious and you are feeling mopey and depressed easy, like more than usual, then that is saying that there's the kidneys that are off. And then that's what guides me in the foods that they should be eating. It becomes extremely logical when you start working in that process, because that's my expertise. But what I've been doing lately is I have been guiding them a bit, and I already know the foods that I already can hear what they need. And so it's their personal plan of food. And then I'll say, okay, so what do you see on your plate right now? And so I can test where they are with what they are hearing from me and what our discussion is. And I would say about 90%, even these newbies that come in first into a mentoring session with me, that they usually pick the right stuff that should be on that plate. Because there's certain foods that's going to help your kidneys, certain foods that are going to help your heart more, going to help your vision, and that's easily Googled. But to bring all this together is really interesting. So that we really do have the tools within ourselves, but I always see this word trust in front of me when I can hear, oh, somebody just needs to learn to be able to sit back and really understand that they can trust these notions that they have. And so my foundation lately has been on building the trust within that person so that they can say, I feel this, and say it out loud and not feel so goofy and silly about it as they practice. And then they start learning how to use their own personal tools as I'm there guiding them and already have some ideas. Does that make sense? So it's kind of like a muscle testing, but it's also with the education of the organ, the meridian system.
Yes. Yes. I totally understand. Now, I am not that client, Rhonda, because I think I came out of the womb saying, this feels hot over here. This feels cold over here. Ooh, what's this? I feel this. I feel that. I mean, I came out of the womb being able to express pretty. I'm pretty sure. But sometimes I forget. Sometimes I forget that other people that are as sensitive as me either may or may not have tools to read what that means. And that is so it's so valuable that you give people those tools and those insights on that level.
It has to be a life thing. It's a decision, because you can go out and do the diets, and I would say, like, that's not my clientele, and that's okay, because there's always good things every year that get released of these new diets. There's always good nuggets in there. But if you notice, it's hard to fit your plan, because you can feel good for a month, maybe even a year. Something will work for you. But if you take certain foods out and you're not listening to your body, people say, I'm not eating many carbs these days. Well, vegetables is carbs. So you can't have, well, no, I can't have fruit. Well, don't you need the sugar? Like, it just deserves a conversation. So
Absolutely.
when you go out in that route, it takes away all this stuff, and also your intuition that we used for years that we have not tapped into.
I found that the diet that my farmer grandpa and really sort of with fresh vegetables, like that seems to be mostly like really what people need. I have to tell you now, this is a little bit a personal story from my family, eating dysfunction. Weight has been, a lot of my family struggles with weight, but this is generational. My grandmother, rest her soul, had this wonderful, crazy brother, and he invented the instant mashed potato diet. And I'm like, he's certainly going to die. He is certainly going to die. And he did in fact die. It was years later, but he used to go on this kick where he would fast and he would have nothing but instant mashed potatoes. And I'm like, does nobody else think this is a problem? I remember my family was so alarmed. And I mean, he didn't even like get that in a magazine or anything. He like made it up, and it was completely non-nutritional, and it was. I have no idea what prompted him to do that. And my grandmother was enraged by it, and I was fearful of the instant mashed potato diet. So it's like a family thing, right? Like he was generations before. When I was a little girl, I'm thinking back when I'm just a little girl, when I'm having a memory of my grandmother and him arguing about the instant mashed potato diet. It's completely ridiculous.
Oh, you're just cracking me up. That's hilarious. But I also think
it's a true story. I can't make it. I couldn't make it. It's crazy.
I know, isn't that? It's like crazy. And I think about that. Your sugar, like you're being so hard on your body, it elevates your sugar so quick. That kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. And so you have so many clogs, and you think about it. And this is something that that's like so important to understand, is that when it really clogs your liver. And when that gets clogged, your whole endocrine system, your whole hormone system goes off, because your liver needs to be totally clear so your whole body will work. If that gets clogged, then the flow stops and you have to go from base one again and start clearing that. So that's what I hear when I hear about like the whites, and especially the instant mashed potatoes. So if anybody's on that diet,
why don't you just eat like Elmer's glue instead? Like, you might as well just eat Elmer's glue. Oh, well, bless his heart, dear old Monty. Luckily, I never myself took to the instant mashed potato diet. And thank God people like you are around, Rhonda, that you can keep. I mean, you can use that. You can feel free to use that story anywhere, like what not to do.
Yeah, exactly. Let me give you an example.
I think most people are beyond that. I think. Anyway, well, Rhonda, it's so delightful to spend time with you today, and I absolutely love everything that you're up to. You've got books. You are creating stages for other authors and speakers. You're an extraordinary healer and coach. I just really, really am so delighted to have you here today and to share this conversation with the audience of Healing Body, Mind, and Soul with Aeriol. Can you please give everybody some contact information where they can reach you if they would like to know more or get their hands on your book or anything? Do your plug.
Yeah, we didn't get a chance to talk about this, but I have a page you can go to. So Aeriol, you were talking about how I support other speakers. For the wellness industry, I don't want to be alone. I like people by my side. So I built a platform called the Fresh Inspiration Show. And it goes live in different towns with me being the host. And then I bring 4 or 5 of my best fun people that are talking about mindset and health and wellness, and also business stuff too. We do get a lot of entrepreneurs that are part of that. If you want to know more about that, you want to go to thefreshinspirationshow.com, and I'll have everything in there if you're a speaker or if you want to come to one of our shows. I also have an energy assessment that you may really want, and it'll help you so you know what kind of foods you can eat right now to unclog certain parts of your body. And the assessment takes you into a space where you get to know your workout, what you should be doing at this point, food, all that. It's really good guidance that I put together. And you can go to Rhonda Liebig, and that is RhondaLiebig.com. And those are the places you can find me. And I do quite a few things working with other entrepreneurs, getting their alignment of their energy so they don't leave massive money on the table because they feel like they need to go take a nap. So I bring in all these wonderful tools so that you can learn your journey and have consistent, grounded energy through the whole day. So you feel like you're in the fat burning stage. You know that stage where you just go,
Where you're vibrating. Yeah, that's the
I
hum
know.
stage, right?
That's a good stage.
Yeah. I hope that we get to be in real time together soon, Rhonda. I really would love to share my vibrational bowls with you because I really think that you would absolutely love them. I want to thank you so much for being here today. I also want to thank our listeners for tuning in. Please see all of Rhonda's show notes. We're going to have her bio and her social media links below, so you can click over to her website and check out all those goodies that she has for you. And I just want to say to everyone, until next time, happy healing.